secret is love, he said. You got to lift yourself up, try again, one day you will break through what you long for.
Hi there and welcome to this week's, or actually the double week of the 17th until the 31st of December astrological, intuitive and heartful forecast. So this week is a little special because actually I tried to film it for all of the signs here only 4 days ago, right here. And you know what happened? I had my laptop with me because I had the charts for this period on the laptop, and I was standing with my laptop, and then suddenly it was just as being pushed, and it goes down there. And that is the point of this week. We have to follow and notice the signs. If there's a sign, like a big sign, like your computer drops into the water, you probably had several signs before saying, listen girl, take a rest. Don't push forward like you always do with all your eagerness to do a lot for other people. You forget yourself sometimes. And since we have Mars in Pisces, it's a time also to rest and be introverted, especially for some of the signs. Other signs is more outroverted. But this period, we definitely need to listen to the signs, because we are having a lot of upgrades on the planet. We've had that for a long time. We are in the middle of a shift of this history, the history of mankind here on for human life on planet Earth is changing, and we all notice it and we all see it. And we have to know that every time things feels harsh, it's a blessing. There's something that, I mean, if we really feel like now we hit bottom again after having a good period, it's often because we've had a period where we have integrated ourselves into a new level, a new vibratory level, and now as you reach the bottom again, it's a sign that you're actually getting prepared to be upgraded once again. So don't be scared. Try not to be scared, because fear is always blocking your process. So if you're scared, and if you want your ego to force things through too much, it's not the time. I had so many people saying, but I want this and I want that and what I want in my life. And I'm like, well, life is trying to force you to surrender now. And through the next 2 weeks, just as in any other parts of our lives, but especially here, because we have Mars still in Pisces, and Mars is the planet of action for these 2 weeks. And in Pisces, it's not about action. It's about other people. It's about goodness for all, oneness with all. It's about getting meditation, getting rest, and also surrendering to the process. And it's actually also the sign of God, you can say. So they say that very often the only thing standing in the way for God's plans, if you want to say God, I'm not talking about religion, and I'm not talking about some man feeding birds up there in the sky. I'm talking about this that we can connect with inside of us all. Like when I was a little child, my father was he's always philosophating about philosophy. How do you say that in English? Philosophizing about things, and he was asking me. I remember I think he said I was 3 or 4. He was like, maybe I could have been 5, I don't know. But what is God actually? And he was like back and forth about what God was. And I was just like, oh, come on, Dad. Because I was just like, okay, no more explanations. It's simple. We are all inside of God. Period. That means we're all a part of the same thing. And with Mars and Pisces, it's that connection it's all about. Just that connection. And by the way, I'm wearing 4 sweaters. This is like crazy. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it's that cold in Denmark now. And also these gloves. So the only thing standing in the way of God's plan, which is actually your plan, your original plan before you came into this body and was giving that ego called, oh, I am Maria Yilmar and I have my bride, could be my ego talking. It's you. You're the only thing standing in the way for your original plan, your plans. The plans of your ego of having this, having that, doing this, doing that is preventing you from being in the flow. And Pisces is about the flow. So action-wise, we should jump into the flow. If this was a river, we could throw ourselves into the middle of it and let the stream take us wherever it wanted us to go. But maybe we should start looking at the water instead of me. Welcome to the show. So, yeah, a lot of things are going on. And the moon starts from the middle of Aries until Scorpio. So we are going into the new year with these deep desires when we reach the 31st. And also the karmic wounds who have been like, we have been digging our noses into back and forth, upwards and downwards like a million times now. And hopefully we are letting go of some of the things the universe have been trying to make us let go of during this time. So we go into the new year with transformed energy, hopefully. But okay, let's go to week number 1. See what we have here. Actually, there's snow other places. But the first week, Venus is out of retrograde, first of all. So she's out of retrograde on the 18th. And that is really nice because that's ending that cycle that I've talked about earlier of the Venus and the transformation, a transformation of our personal relationships, of how we are when we are in our relationships and how we deal with other people and how we find harmony and balance. And we have been tested in this process of seeing if we have been able to listen to that other people may have other needs than we have, and give space for other people and not just ourselves. So this has been a testing time, and you've probably also felt it. And now it's a time. Look at this. Which animal is this? Oh, it's just like this weird bird. Here it is. So now you probably discovered things about yourself, about your boundaries, where you had to put your boundaries to some people, and also during the last 3 months or so. And now it's the time to implement them, but also been able to listen to the boundaries of other people. A lot of things, a lot of purging, and depending on how your own chart looks, of course. But Mars is in a fantastic combination with Pluto this week, the first week, 17th to the 24th. And that combination, a sextile, is going to give us determination, it's going to give us power, and also the desires activated throughout this period. But a lot of this is going on like behind the scenes also. Because there's a lot of planets in the water signs. And here we are, speaking of water. Oh, cutie pies. Cutie pies. So, the Sun and Mercury is in conjunction from Tuesday. And that's potentially a really lucky combination. It's about agreements, travel, higher education, of course always depending on what your personal sign is, but this is the collective report. So if there's anything you have been working with, also in regards to agreements, also because of the Venus in semisextile in Scorpio, it can have something to do with your business or your relatives, your children, money, common future, and maybe you can reach an agreement here. But this is the collective aspect, as I said. And for the Aries, you can see your report because you are the only sign I got to make before the computer fell into the water. I have to be careful here with my knee. I can see. For Taurus, it's about luck in your relationships and resources. For Gemini, it's in the daily life or in some kind of romantic relation, or a creative project also, maybe something to do with your own business. For Cancer, it's about your luck, your physical vitality increases and skillful things come up for you where you're skilled. I'm sorry about the noise here. I just have to pass an area. It can also be like for the Geminis a last minute arrangement, something like that. It changes something. And Leo, luck, a fantastic aspect which is gonna give you the potential or the possibility of to really appreciate, of course for all of us, but the festivities and be social with you, like the communicative center of attention. Look, I know there's a lot of noise here. I'm trying to get out of it. Okay, let me turn it off. Let me turn it off till I pass. Okay, now it's better. It's summertime. I've been swimming here. Probably we're gonna film a report here next summer. But anyway, for Virgo, it's luck in regards to being with the people you care most about, and get to talk and share stuff with the closest relationships. And you can say that with these things. Some people might say, you could say that about any sign, but the first signs here are falling in the social houses, more or less introverted or outroverted with the different signs. But Libra is about maybe to get communicated, to get some clear communication about something to do with money. And maybe you're gonna shine in your the gift of speaking. That's what you do. That's what you're good at. And there can be some kind of a reward of something to gain. And Scorpio, you're kind of like in focus. Others are looking at you and find you all fantastic. Venus in your sign. And oh man, look at this. Beautiful. And while something financially, really positively financially can take shape more and more, Sagittarius, you're on the way into a whole new phase of your life. And who you are as being seen in a whole new light, where people suddenly really see what you are worth, and who you are. Also, at the same time that you kind of get some clarity on some of the things that has to do with your past. Somebody from your past could come in, and you get the chance to end something and finish off something around this. Capricorn, friends or close relationships are gonna help you get this difficult phase of your life more rounded and closed off before your birthday, or just some epoch, a small etape in Danish. What is that called in English? Just a phase. Aquarius, career and social togetherness is in focus. Something has the potential possibility to move forward here with a lot of luck, especially if there's a self. I mean, in certain areas you have to realize stuff and admit to yourself stuff about yourself, and not how you live your life, and if there's things to look upon. Pisces, traveling, an opportunity to travel perhaps will arise. Money. Do you have money enough to travel, or is it just because you realize some new potentials for yourself within your career, perhaps? Back to the collective aspect. Jupiter is also in a great contact with Saturn, and just like Pluto and the South Node is in Capricorn, that has got something to do with ambitions, goals, and success. Depending, of course, on this actual house in your sign. So, regardless of whether it's about your house, where you live, friendships, career, family, daily routines, health, social things, where you need to create a better structure, Saturn, and maybe there's something you really need to end in your life. Some certain strategy you used to always follow that is definitely no longer serving you. It's good to get this rounded here now at the end of this year. because we are ending stuff. Like I'm reaching the end of this this nice wooden thing. Can you imagine swimming here in the summer? Can you see my breath? It's cold. Just say that. So there's something we need to end and does not no longer serve us. And as the sun enters Capricorn, we will get a feel of something that will come closer and closer as the month of Capricorn moves on, and that's in the end of this. That's the weekend of this week. So, well, the Sun and Uranus is also in a trine this week, and that is about Uranus is about ingenuity, genius, and truth-telling. Perhaps this aspect with the Sun in Sag, expansive thoughts, boldly talking. Well, let me just warm my hands just a second. About changes in your life, somewhere in some area in your life where you really need to do the last things that you can do before your life can actually move forward. You know what it is. It's a good practice in using your intuition that I can't do the report for each sign now because I'm told to rest and use my intuition for myself and not always other people. So it's a good chance for you to really feel into, you know what it is that you have to end. There's some part of your personality that does no longer serve you if you want to upgrade yourself. There is some part of you that needs to be refined of your ego instead of just running the show. What is this thing? So there's a full moon Saturday. As the sun reaches Capricorn on the 22nd, so this is about focus on being more attentive to the realism in things, and some at the same time with that you are gonna think ahead and do those plans to improve your status somehow. Progressive and expansive ideas can come to you. Full moon in Cancer. As I said at the end of the week, in Cancer we are where it's all about being in the feelings, traditions, actually these kind of values, which is a part of Christmas, right? So very appropriate. But at the same time, we need to make some decisions that are based on these intuitions, as I said. So be aware of your hunches. Be aware of if you have hunches about things that can be about things that can throw off some fabulous things for you. There's so many of these ducks over here. Let me zoom in. Look, it's a whole family. This is like Christmas. I don't know if is it even zooming? Not very stable. Men and women ducks, females and men. And some bikers up there. Okay, so something really good can come out of this. You need to use your intuition this full moon. So the sun is moving into Capricorn on the 22nd, and here we have Saturn and Pluto in the south node. As I said, same theme. So just with the focus upon that for the next month, actually, things that are removing your bad habits within this area completely and create new circumstances. Week number 2, from the 24th to the 31st. Mars is close to Chiron now, getting closer and closer. And in common for both weeks is that the Chiron and the North Node is in a trine, but the Venus is closing up to this trine to make a grand trine. And Chiron is about our wounds, and it's the last time in Pisces for half a decade almost. Actually, for a long time we won't see this combination again, so it's important to get these wounds where you feel guilty, where you don't feel good enough, where you feel rejected and didn't feel like you did your purpose rightfully, in harmony with the universe, in balance with your inner child, with the feelings, things where you have been wounded. It's really nice that the North Node is here, because he's gonna give a positive light and make you forgive yourself, forgive others also, and let go of these things you've been holding on to, also in your relationships. Wow, here they come. So Merry Christmas. Monday, Sunday. I forgot to say that. It's gonna be no, now I'm singing it's gonna be a cold and lonely Christmas. I didn't want to sing that. Maybe it's the Martin. For some people it might be. For others it's a good time to be introvert. I've been alone many times on New Year's actually, and I loved it. People are like, how? On New Year's? Well, I was able to connect with myself, and I'm not gonna be this year, but I tried that several times. I don't mind. But Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, just in case I forgot. But Mercury, the communication planet and the movement planet, is out of his retrograde cycle. So he went in on the 17th of November, out again on the 5th of December in 13 degrees of Sag. But now he's all the way out of the cycle as we reach the second week, the last week of this year. So if there's been any issues, or depending on your sign, any issues between like contracts, people amongst you, between you and other people, financial, to do with your health, to do with your kids, your partner, where the communication and the freedom to move has been off. Yeah, well, in spite of Neptune's still square 3 days, the first 3 days of this week, there should be some kind of clearance on the way. So, or maybe you have tried to create some kind of expansion in your life somehow, and now it's going to be possible for you to get some of this done. And Jupiter and the Saturn is also positively linked this week. Nice. And that's all exceptional, because it means that if you are like entrepreneurial or business minded, or you're kind of changing your status somehow to something bigger, or shifting forward in a meaningful way where something gets bigger, truth is revealed, something that just expands your world, it's a good time for that. But you also have to show the right patience this week, because Monday the moon is in Cancer, is clashing with Uranus, so it's best to just just as the things are going really well, there can be a part of you that kind of like itches to get into some kind of confrontation. You avoid this if you can. On Christmas Day, the moon is in a fantastic place at the end of Cancer. Also because it's also making this nice aspect to Chiron, I said before, but it's gonna go into the super loving 5th house for the collective report. It's Leo is the 5th house, and that is where loving and warmth, loving feelings, warmth, affection, and the wanting to share is gonna come, like having joy over that now it's Christmas perhaps, or it's also in square with Uranus, as I said. So here in Cancer, it's gonna seek peace with those who are closest. And on the 25th, maybe you're gonna be even more social as it goes in the moon into Leo. So the rest of the week, Venus is gonna make a constellation, a fabulous constellation with Pluto. Whoa, my feet are getting cold, but that's okay. And this can be really good for your love life. It can make you much more aware of which people are really right for you in your closest, most intimate relationships. But also when it comes to your money-related business partners. It can also have something to do with that business idea, or idea of changing your marital status somehow, or whatever you have, some kind of idea that you have about changing something in your life. Maybe a good news can come up here. So this week ends with a quarter moon in Libra, and that means that you're gonna have to have focus upon having a balance and harmony in your relationships as we go into the new year. So diplomacy and tactfulness are two more keywords when we celebrate New Year's. Remember this this New Year is not the astrological New Year, and it means that you have to stay calm even though you get triggered of something, perhaps, or focus on your goals even though there are celebrations. You can really get something move forward. Spiritual goals, other kinds of goals, depending on which sign you are. Mercury, as I said, is out of shadow the 25th, but still squaring Neptune first part of the week. So don't take everything as it seems, because with Neptune in square in the first part of the week until the 27th or something, something can be a little too good to be true. Let's see what's down here. So yeah, Merry Christmas, people, and remember that it's not only about hearts this time of year, but all year, of course, because you need to not follow trends, but to follow your heart. But I will just have a little extra this week as well in section 2, as my computer fell into the water over here. I cannot edit my shows as I usually do. So you just have to live with that. It's not as I usually make them with the intros and outros and etc. I'm gonna try to film them in another way. See you in section 2. And thanks for bearing over with that. I'm not regular with my reports since my second operation of the knee. It didn't go as smoothly as the other operation, the first operation. So I've been through a lot. But now I'm out here getting some fresh air for the first time in a long time. Let's go to section 2. Welcome to section 2. This section is about how to surrender and how to fulfill and manifest the wish that you really have for your life. So let's start with how. We have tried to create some sort of control over what we want to do with our lives mentally on a 3D level. But if we drop this control, we drop this and put it into the hands of God and our higher selves, as we know that only what is supposed to happen is going to happen anyway. That soul contract that we have, what can also be seen in the astrology, in your personal astrology chart, then everything would be so much more in contact with what we are really here to do. But your plans are in the way. The plans of our ego are in the way of God's plans. We can say it like that. So it's time to surrender. And we don't want to go into this whole God thing because it's nothing to do with religion. But if you've seen other programs, you will know what I mean. It's time to surrender, and all this control of trying to make things happen the way that you want it to. This is creating resistance. Okay? You are creating resistance by wanting to control the outcome. You're creating resistance from that plan that you already made, the schedule that you already made, the astrology you already made. So when you pray for something to happen, you can try to listen to the silence instead of praying for anything. See what's delivered to you instead of wanting that it could happen a certain way for you. And that is called to surrender. It won't help you anyway if you try to dominate things in a certain direction. Try to notice that what your ego perceives as your needs is what you need to clear out. Ego can jump on any train until it's refined by the heart. So what ego think you need to become happy, you cannot rely on. Just like that. So start clearing your board. Forget about it and try to open up to that perhaps there is something else which is going to make you happy on a whole nother level. When you truly live from the heart, it is a whole nother story. Maybe when you realize that you are committed to everyone and connected to everyone because everyone else is you in Lakesh, and you start focusing upon what will make others happy. A light just lit up in my room Just as I said that, okay, so what did I just say? Because it's always important when stuff like that happens. Well, I just said that when you realize that you're connected to everyone and you start focusing upon what will make others happy. Yeah, and my point was then invisible doors will open. They will open for you when you start focusing upon the happiness of other people. And then your authentic self and truth is exposed to you and to the world. And the real power is turned on for you. The power of love. And that is much more powerful than any other power. We don't get it because our ego stands in the way for the plans. That is the point here. So if you're like, what is that bullshit? Why, if you're thinking like, why is she saying that? I'm not like, I want something else with my life, and she's just like these kind of hippie freaks and or God, someone who was brought up with God and Holy Church. No, I'm not. Both of my parents were librarians. My brother's a math professor. And yes, they believe in God. My mom died 10 years ago. They're super scientific at the same time, with an open heart. Both of my parents gave from an open heart, always chose others before them, and luck came their way, and miracles happened. And it's not the miracles of winning $1 million, of course. It's other miracles that actually do feel more right than winning $1 million. Of course, we all need food at the table to start out with, and then we can start doing other things. But if you could see just how much it would mean to you if you could let go of that thing you've been holding on to and start praying for what's good for everyone, that would release the pressure and the stress from you. I did it. Something in my life that I wanted for more than 20 years. Not just one thing, 5 things. I surrendered it. And what a relief. I don't have to go and struggle and fight for stuff. I can just let myself float with the stream. And then the gifts come. Instead of seeing what's not good in your life, try to shift the focus to what's really working in your life. Try to do that. You're creating a flow when you focus upon what's actually working for you. Suddenly the water starts running down the canal every time we focus upon this is not working. It's kind of like putting stones in the canal, blocking the water, and more stones blocking the water from running more and more. Every time you focus upon the negativity. If you had like 100 obstacles, if you have had like 100 obstacles in your life, they are telling you something. All these obstacles that you keep banging your head against, they are telling you something. The obstacles showed you where not to go for now. And because when we really hit bottom, all the way down, we are forced to break out of our barrier between, break down this barrier between ourselves and God. Challenges are opportunities to actually start to open up your heart towards the higher realms, the highest good for you, your purpose, so you can see the truth of your life and your highest good and potential and the path to follow. And if you don't know if you are following your truth, your intuition, or your higher self, you can always ask for a sign. As I said so many times before, pray for a sign, ask for a sign. It may come as you suddenly thinking about something intensely, and as you look at your watch, it says 11:11, 22:22. People are different. They get signs in different ways. A song in your head, a bus driving by with a significant quote on, a person saying something at a particular time, no matter how it comes. You ask for the sign. You can also say it like, I have some friends that said like, okay, I want a sign. I want to see an elephant if I should do this. And it's really cold in Denmark, so you don't just see an elephant in Denmark. It's not a tropical climate. But they saw an elephant the following day in the town where it was like, what? And then they realized there was a circus in town, so some people were walking these elephants in the crosslight. They saw them. So the universe is giving us messages all the time, but we are not listening. All the time. It's a universal law of attraction that when we ask, we will always receive. And when you ask for a sign that you are on the right path, for example, then your only task is to listen. If you ask for a sign. And surrender is the key. So anytime you think you did surrender, do it again. Even more. You can go further and further into your truth. And when you can surrender so much that you have zero anxiety and fear, then you will see that you have surrendered to God, your higher self. And then you will realize that what you thought you needed is not necessarily what you needed at this time. And the right gifts will automatically start dropping into your open arms, because you have an open heart, and that is the same as open arms. And then the universe can give you. They can't give you when you're closed off in your little ego. Surrender. Cannot give you when your plans are standing in the way of the plans of your higher self or God. Thank you for watching. Don't follow trends, follow your heart. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And remember, the astrological New Year is in March. See you in January. Perhaps the next report will still be from Denmark, and the following reports will be from India. And then we're back in Tokyo. Traveling Max, as it's said in the Frackle show. That's me, your astrologer. Ciao. Wish you love. Wish you luck. Wish that you can surrender.